Well, in the one serious moment during the interview, Prince Harry also angrily denied his revelation that he'd killed 25 members of the Taliban was a boast, and again claimed that he'd been misrepresented by the British press. Well, joining me now is the royal correspondent, Jennie Bond, who's been following every nook and cranny of this particular Harry saga. Jennie, very good evening to you. Now, when I was a newspaper journalist about 20,000 years ago, I think I'm OK to say this, the palace used to have a phrase, I'm sure they said it to you many, many times, never put the Queen in a miniskirt. Do you think this interview was one too far?
No, I don't. No, I think honestly, if we don't have a sense of humour in this country, and we're quite known for our sense of humour, then we may as well give up. I thought it was quite funny. I mean, yeah, we've got a history of poking fun at the royal family, and know that generally the royals themselves haven't taken part in Spitting Image, for example, which was a controversial show. And what about the Queen dressing up, allegedly, and jumping out of a helicopter in that skit with Daniel Craig in the 2012 Olympics? I think we've got to have room for a bit of a laugh, haven't we, Tom?
Yeah, look, we're all about having a good old laugh on talkTV, but there's also, you know, let's remember, just a few months ago, those precise same trumpeters, or not the ones on the Late Show, but, you know, they were playing some pretty important tunes to announce the death of one monarch and the arrival of another. Is it really in the finest of tastes?
Look, I think it's fine. I've made my position quite clear on that. I think that was quite a funny little skit. Good for him for taking the what have you out of himself. What I do have a problem with is quite a lot of what he said in his book. I have a problem with him not standing up with any concrete evidence. The many allegations he's made against his family and against the palace, leaking negative stories. I think after 6 hours of Netflix documentaries and a book of some 400 and some pages, which I'm still wading my way through, I think that we should have some more examples of his allegations. That's what I have a problem with.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing has been a pretty considerable rant, hasn't it, without really much of a factual backup. And Piers Morgan just did it on this station a couple of hours ago. The papers also tomorrow, and we'll get into that a bit later, are absolutely full of the contradictions. TK Maxx, really interesting story, the shop. Harry, at one stage, claimed that one of his favourite times of the year was TK Maxx's annual sale. Now, TK Maxx put out a statement today saying, we don't actually have an annual sale. That's a little bit embarrassing. What has happened to the fact-checking, do you think, in this book? And it's a renowned publisher, you know, Random House, Penguin. Should they have not done a better job here to perhaps correct obvious trapfalls and pitfalls that their own author was making?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, another very glaring error, which Piers may have spoken about, was the announcement of the death of the Queen Mother, which Harry's... I mean, I'd just flown back from Closters myself, having been filming William and Harry and Charles on the ski slopes at Closters, and I just got back and touched down at the airport to be told that the Queen Mother was dying, and she died within a couple of hours of that. So I knew damn well that Harry was on the ski slopes, and yet he has... Do you know? Can we maybe think that he just his brain is so addled by, well, by the trauma of his life, because he is traumatized, by the many drugs he's taken. Perhaps he just does not have a clear memory. He says his memory is pretty blurred about most things. We could blame it charitably on that, but yes, the fact checkers clearly and the publishers should have picked it up, and he should have had people around him who gave him better advice about what was wise and what was unwise to say in the book.
All right, Jennie, well, finally, is the conclusion one that the Daily Star might be leading the nation on tonight? We should just not talk about Harry anymore, not give him this oxygen of publicity, and allow him to go away and perhaps start healing.
Yeah, but we love it, don't we? We go on and on and on about it, and that's what he complains about. But that is the palace strategy. If they don't say anything, they don't give the story legs, and that strategy is working. I think the storm is passing. It's been quite a storm for people like me in the last 5 days, but I think it is beginning to pass. But it's up to us, the media, isn't it? Are we interested? Are we not?